I stared at my phone. My mom's text was short and to the point. We can't afford to get you a gift this year. Sorry. Honey. I didn't cry. Honestly. I wasn't even surprised. It's been the same for 3 years now. No gifts for me. No special treatment. But my sister, Lily, she always gets something. Every year. On her birthday. They give her $50 like it's no big deal. Me. I get a text. I remember when it started. On my 15th birthday. Mom and Dad told me they couldn't afford to get me anything because things were tight. I understood then. But it stung more when Lily's birthday came 2 months later. And they somehow found the money for her. They smiled, laughed, and acted like nothing was wrong. But something was wrong. It wasn't just the gifts. It was everything. When I tried to talk to them, they'd brush me off. I tried to join them in the living room. But they'd just focus on Lily. Every time. I kept thinking maybe I'd done something wrong. But I never figured out what. The only people who truly cared about me were my grandparents. They always got me little special gifts and took me out on my birthdays. This year, though, this was it. This was the year I couldn't take it anymore. I wasn't angry about the presents. I just wanted them to see me. My birthday came and went yesterday. No cake. No presents. Not even a card. Mom and Dad were busy again. I spent the evening at my parents' by myself, watching Lily get ready for her own birthday today. She's turning 14. She didn't even say anything about my birthday. It was just like any other day to her. This morning, I got another text from Mom. We'll be home at 3. Bring that cake you usually make. Yeah, that's another thing. Every year, I bake a chocolate cake the day after my birthday. I bring it over to my parents' house. And we all pretend it's for Lily. But it's the only way I feel like I'm part of something. I sighed, staring at the half-finished cake on the counter. The kitchen smelled like cocoa and vanilla. I wasn't even sure why I was still doing this. But old habits die hard. I guess. Part of me wanted to just throw the cake away and not go over. But the other part of me, the part that still hoped for something different, kept working. I don't need gifts. I whispered to myself as I spread the frosting. I just need them to care. That's all I ever wanted. Not the money. Not the things. I wanted their attention. Their love. I wanted them to ask me how my day was. Or if I was okay. I wanted to feel like I mattered. I looked at the cake. And it felt like a metaphor for my life. Something I'd put all this effort into. But for what? Would anyone even notice? By the time I finished, I was exhausted, physically and emotionally. The cake sat there, perfect and untouched, while I stood there, torn between anger and sadness. I received a call from Lily. Hey, Mom says we're gonna eat around 4. So don't be late. And bring that cake. She's been talking about it all morning. I bit my lip. Sure. She then hung up. Simple as that. Typical. Well, this time, I wasn't going to play their games. I was going to give them a single slice of my cake. And eat the rest by myself. Serves them right for neglecting me for this entire time. I stared at the clock. It was already 2:30. I knew I should be getting ready. But all I could think about was what was waiting for me at my parents' house. Another round of them fawning over Lily while I stood in the background. Another year where my birthday didn't matter. I picked up the cake and carefully placed it in the box. I couldn't shake the feeling that this was going to be just like every other year. But maybe, just maybe, I was wrong. As I got ready to leave, I tried to push away the familiar ache in my chest. The house felt quiet. Almost too quiet. I put on my shoes, grabbed the cake, and took a deep breath. You can do this. I whispered. I wanted to believe it. I really did. But as I walked out the door and headed to the bus stop, I wasn't so sure. When I pulled up to my parents' house, the driveway was full. Grandma and Grandpa's car was there, too. My heart raced as I stepped out. The cake balanced in my hands. The smell of chocolate filled the air as I took a deep breath and walked toward the door. I knocked softly, then let myself in. The house was unusually quiet for a family gathering. I frowned, expecting to hear laughter or Lily's voice chattering about her birthday. But when I stepped inside the living room, I almost dropped the cake. Everyone, Dad, Lily, even my grandparents, stood in front of me, grinning, and they were all wearing t-shirts with my face on them. Above my picture, in bright bold letters, were the words "Happy Birthday, Audrey." What is this? I stammered, barely able to speak. Mom stepped forward, her eyes shining with a look I hadn't seen in a long time. "Happy birthday, sweetheart." I blinked. But it's Lily's birthday. Lily giggled and shook her head. "Not today, Audrey. Today's about you." The emotions hit me all at once. Confusion, shock, a tiny flicker of hope. I clutched the cake tighter as I stood there, not knowing what to say. Dad walked over and gently took the cake from my hands. "Let's put this down before you drop it," he said with a soft chuckle. I watched as he placed the cake on the table. My heart pounded in my chest. "I don't understand. What's going on?" Mom's face softened. She glanced at Dad before speaking. "Audrey, we owe you an explanation. We're so sorry for not giving you birthday presents the last few years." I felt a lump form in my throat as she continued. "We've been planning something special for a long time," she said, her voice wavering. "We wanted to surprise you in a big way. We thought if we waited, it would make today even more meaningful." Dad nodded. "It wasn't about forgetting you, Audrey. We've never forgotten you. We wanted this moment to be perfect." I stood there, trying to process everything. But it hurt. It hurt thinking you didn't care about me. I didn't need gifts. I just needed to know that you saw me. Tears welled up in Mom's eyes. "We know, honey. We should have told you sooner. We didn't realize how much it was hurting you." I swallowed hard, feeling the tears start to fall. I didn't want to cry, but I couldn't stop. I just wanted your attention. I wanted to feel like I mattered. Dad stepped closer, his voice gentle. "You've always mattered to us. We're so proud of you, Audrey." As the words sank in, I felt the years of hurt and disappointment unravel. The tension in my chest eased a little, but there was still a part of me that couldn't quite let go of the pain. Mom wiped her eyes and smiled softly. "We have something for you." Dad reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box. My hands trembled as I took it from him. Slowly, I opened the box, and inside was a shiny silver key. "Happy birthday, Audrey," they all shouted in unison. I stared at the key in disbelief. "A car?" Dad smiled proudly. "Yep. It's parked outside. We wanted to give you something special. Something you'd never forget." My heart raced, but I wasn't thinking about the car. Tears blurred my vision as I looked up at them. "Thank you. But it's not the car I needed." Dad's smile faltered. "What do you mean?" I wiped my eyes, my voice shaking. "I just needed to know that you loved me. That's all I wanted." Mom stepped forward and wrapped her arms around me. "Oh, Audrey, we love you so much. We've always loved you." I broke down, hugging her tightly. I just felt so invisible. "You're not invisible," Dad said, joining the hug. "We see you, and we're so sorry for making you feel that way." Lily came over, her own eyes misty. "You're the best, Audrey. I'm sorry if I ever made you feel like I was the favorite." I shook my head, pulling her into a hug. "It wasn't your fault." We stood there, the four of us, holding each other in a way we hadn't in years. The pain was still there, but something else was growing in its place. Relief, love, forgiveness. The car was nice, sure, but in that moment, it didn't matter. All that mattered was that I finally felt seen.